from contesting until the court asked that she and other aspirants be accepted back into the contest.
Action! 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 NDP! Power to the people! NDP! Power to the people! NDP! Our nation, our future!
She polled 0.16%. Mrs. Rawlings lost her husband and long-term political backbone, J.J. Rawlings, barely a month to the 2020 election. Madame Rawlings, a technical and vocational education advocate for years, is promising to build Ghana by investing heavily in technical and vocational education.
Because to our young women who are really at the threshold of adulthood, I'd like to encourage them to take their education and vocations seriously and not to be swayed by negativities which may destroy their future.
NDP! NDP!
Hers would be a tough job, coming back into the 2020 election with her under 1% vote from 2016. But her own story is one of resilience, and so many will be watching if she will draw strength from her own history to inspire presidential ambition in this election.
And that's the story of Nana Konadu Agyeman Rawlings. Let's cross over to Studio 997. Kojo Yangsing, hopefully we have a better connection this time. Kojo?
Second time lucky, Mama V, I'm hoping. And of course, we are once again reminded of the reason why, as a nation, Ghana chooses to be a republic. Because the power then resides in the people. And once every 4 years, the people can do exactly what we're doing today on election day. And that is wield that mighty power in deciding who will lead us into the next phase of our history. And Mama V, we are part of this historical event, of course, as the election headquarters. And our audience has to do, well, pretty much nothing. Just stay exactly where they are, and we will unfold all the events before them, blow by blow, with every detail, until we know who our next leaders are.
I know that you have some great guests with you, but I can't help but ask where you've been with you, but I can't help but ask.
It's a good question you ask, Mama V, and well, I wish I had been to some wonderful exotic places, but I haven't. I've been laying low, trying to get better. I've been quite ill, but I'm very excited to be back, and of course, all of this energy can't be put to waste. Let me tell you who my two guests will be between now and 9 a.m. They are both legal practitioners. One of them is the Senior Vice President of Imani Africa. Of course, that means I'm talking about Kofi Bentil. And also, it's a pleasure once again to have her with us in the studio, Clara Berry Kasati. She's a law lecturer and, of course, a private legal practitioner here in Ghana. I can't think of two more sparkling intellects to bring together on the very first morning of Election Day. On the very first morning of Election Day. On the very first morning of Election Day.
Hear them, with expectations. I want to hear Clara and Kofi Bentil talk about what they expect in today's exercise.
Let's find out. They're right here. And ladies first, as they always say. Clara, what a pleasure to see you once again.
Oh, I'm happy to be here. Good morning.
Good
morning to your listeners and viewers.
Excellent.
As usual, I expect us to do what we've been doing, that this is going to be fantastic. We are going to vote as compatriots, as we usually do. We are going to be at the polling stations, and we are going to chat. We are going to wait if we have to wait. We are going to vote if when it's our turn to vote. And we are generally going to be very helpful. That's what we've done over the years, and that's what I expect that we are going to do today as well.
Right. Well, Kofi, perhaps I should ask you an easy question. Who do you think is going to win? Nice, simple one to get us all started.
I think I know.
That's you think you know. Now, of course, expectations are so high. Everybody seems to see this as a sort of make or break election. I wonder why, because we have two known entities, which one of which will eventually emerge winner. But we know what a Mahama administration is like. We know what an Akufo-Addo administration is like. Why is it still a make or break election?
It's because each of the politicians is on their last leg. Each of them is going to have just 4 years, and then we're going to move into a transition. And for the parties, they think it's a major, issue for them. The NDC will be seriously changed, okay, if President Mahama does not win. You must appreciate that their founder is no longer there. And if they lose this election, the party will fundamentally morph to become a different entity. And the MPP will be traumatized if they don't win this election. And they would have to do a lot of soul searching to be able to come back if they lose to Mahama, who they took power from with a huge landslide only after 4 years.
Over 1 million votes.
Yeah. So the issues are such that whoever wins or whoever loses, there will be serious repercussions on the other side. And it's the nature of democracy. It's they that see it as a huge issue. But for the rest of us Ghanaians, we are absolutely happy to be where we are. I'm a very proud Ghanaian today. My expectation is exactly what I'm praying for. A very boring election.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for. And the thing about a boring election, I just read a piece about how somebody wrote about how Africa is looking with envy.
Right.
At Ghana's quiet election.
I love the sound of that.
The whole world. Look at what they went through in the US.
Forgive me, Kofi. I think we need to do something about your microphone. I'm hearing that it requires a bit of adjusting. Forgive me. We'll come and pick up the rest of what you were articulating there. In the meantime, though, Clara, your microphone seems to be working absolutely fine. Now, I've noticed on social media how hard you're encouraging people to go out and vote, and you make the point, which Kofi makes as well, that not voting is also, exercising a mandate. It's just that you may end up choosing the person you don't want. Today, of all days, as people travel across the nation, to go and cast their ballot, do you agree with those who think that, look, it's once every 4 years, it's too little power for the people who are supposed to be, the source of power in a republic?
Well, we could want more, because when we are talking about power in a democracy, it's not just about voting. It's also about the ability to be able to hold those that you vote for accountable. But this is big power in itself as well. And I think people shouldn't, whatever be the case, you still have to have a role in the country and in the governance of the country that you choose. So people must still vote. People should vote, yes, even if you have concerns, but still go and vote for those you see on the ballot, the person you think is the best, at least, will move us a bit forward. Just that after voting, people must not relax. After voting, we must be able to keep the people that we voted for on their toes by holding them accountable and demanding the type of governance system that we want. That is how we create the country that we all want to live in. Yes.
If you're listening to us on Joy 99.7 FM, it's election morning right here on your election headquarters. We're live on the Joy News channel as well, and those of you watching us have the benefit of enjoying our wonderful plush padded new Studio 997. Our guest this morning, as we gear up for what is to be a historic election, Kofi Bentil and Clara Berry Kasa T. Kofi, I think we've got your microphone fixed now. You were expressing some rather interesting thoughts earlier when I asked why you were talking to us about why it is a make or break election, and how it will indeed change the face of either party, whatever the outcome.
So to recap, I was explaining that to the parties involved, it's a huge issue, because whoever loses this election will go into a lot of soul searching. I started with the NDC and said their founder is no longer there, and if President Mahama does not win this election, the NDC will be fundamentally changed. And they will have to go through a lot to find exactly what their core, philosophies, etc. are. Will they remain the same? Who will be their leaders? And I think the new generation of leaders will shift the party to a certain point. And if the MPP loses, it will be a huge blow to lose to President Mahama, who they took power from with a huge landslide, and also 4 years. All right. whichever way it goes, to them it's a big issue. But to us as a country, this is where we want to be. We want to be in the place where the whole world looks at us, and we have boring, uneventful elections. And I've seen a few articles on that, how Africa looks on with envy. And I want to stick it to the US. They should come and learn a few things from, how we do it here.
We will talk a bit more about that later if we get the opportunity.
So